Well, I spoke with Oliver Stark a bit, who said you were thrown into some very extreme circumstances, getting dragged out of the water, etc. So can you just share a bit about filming those whale water rescue scenes?
Yeah, no, it was cool. They had me kayaking, and whenever they say the harbor of
Yeah.
anything, water is typically not that clean. And I'm a little bit of a germaphobe, so I was like, oh man, I wonder how this is gonna work. And the kayaking stuff was awesome. That was great and easy to do, and they're such pros. And then like, all right, it's time to get in the water. They're gonna rescue you. I'm like, oh man. And they're like, and he said, you're probably not gonna have a hard time floating because there's so much stuff in the water. You'll just be
Ah,
floating on top. Like, oh no. It was quick and painless. And the water was actually warm, which was great. Part of the main cast had to jump in the water as well. So I didn't feel too bad about it.
yeah, Mr.
And
Guzman saved you.
All right, let's get in there.
yes, he saved me. That's how we met him. We hadn't even met until he swam over to grab me. I'm like, hey, dude.
Did want to ask what it was like working with the 911 cast. Is there anyone you really hit it off with? And crucially, were you able to schedule a dinner with Angela Bassett for your wife?
Starring Angela Bassett.
I know. That was my whole thing. I was like, you get in there and be friends with Angela Bassett so we can all have dinner.
No, I didn't get to see her. Everything we did was off, it was on another set. But I will say from top to bottom, the cast was really lovely, such pros. When you're a guest star on a show, you never know what it's going to be like, especially since it's such an established show and they have their own rhythms, and you just kind of want to be, you don't want to get in the way. You kind of just want to do your work and not be a hindrance to anybody. And they were amazing.
Yeah.
Really, really welcoming and lovely and kind, and they made me feel at home right away.
Your character, Trip, spent 100 million to send four Real Housewives to space.
You spent $100 million to send four Real Housewives and Miss Universe into space.
It's not just the polls, Trip.
So I know you and your family are Bravo fans. Do you have a personal roster if you had to send four Real Housewives to space?
Oh my gosh. Let me see. Phew. I would take, well, I wouldn't, I can't say exactly who I'd choose, but I'd probably take one from each of the shows, kind of
Yeah.
like with those girls trips that they do. Maybe I'll grab somebody from Summer House. I don't know.
I know you guys are very close with Andy Cohen. How do you think he would fare in space?
Oh my God, he'd be amazing. It would be a reunion up in space. If anything went wrong, he'd figure out how to get home, for sure. Yeah, no, he'd be hilarious in space. I think he would love zero gravity.
And was that ever a dream of yours, space? Would you say yes?
I would be stupid to say no, I think.
Yeah.
I am a little claustrophobic, but the space trips they're taking now are not that long, I don't think.
Mhm.
Um, and I fly in planes, long trip. I'm on the plane for 10 hours at a time, sometimes 12 hours at a time. So I don't seem to have a problem with that. So I'd probably be a little hesitant, but it definitely would be something I'd want to do.
Well, your wife, Kelly, recently said that Trip, the tech billionaire, was her fantasy role for you. Did she have any notes on your performance? What was it like for her to watch the episode?
She loved it. She absolutely loved it. We had a huge laugh when I got eaten by the whale.
I've got the telomeres of a 22-year-old gymnast. I will eat them for.
And Trip is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Some of his, and that's why I really fell in love with the job. And I decided to do it because the writing they gave me and the character that they gave me, like to sink my teeth in and kind of make my own and have some fun with. But yeah, I think, in episode two, you'll get to know Trip a little bit more and just see how flawed he is.
I'm so excited.
Um, yeah, and somehow his decision making isn't always the most sound.
I know you guys recently had Chris O'Donnell on live, so would you be open to potential guest role on 900 Nashville Trip going to
Oh,
Tennessee?
why not? Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm trying to figure out how that would work and how they would write that in, given that Trip is pretty much messed up,
Yeah.
in every way that he possibly can, especially by episode two. But hey, never say never. I'd love to do it.
I always like to ask the 911 guest stars if you had a favorite memory from set or a favorite scene you were in.
I would say this is that the cast is amazing, like I said, they're really, really great, but that crew's been together for a long, long time.
Mhm.
Um, and they work really hard because they do 911 does some crazy things and it's not easy to do what they do. But they're like it's like a well-oiled machine and everybody's positive and they just move through it. And I have to say that I've been on a show that does some outlandish things. This show is even takes bigger swings, I would say. And they're able to do it week to week. And after what, 9 seasons? That's amazing. It's
Yeah.
really, so I think my favorite experience is just kind of witnessing a crew that's really really happy to be working together and from role to role they all get along really well and they have a big job to do.
Trip is back on 911 next week. What can you tease about episode three and sort of the conclusion of this opening emergency?
The conclusion that, like I said, anything that could go wrong with this launch and in them in space goes wrong, and it
Yeah.
just doesn't affect space. It affects Earth in a massive, massive way. Trip is humbled to know that his tech is so he has to go to some obsolete tech to save the spacecraft, and some satellites have been up there for decades,
Yeah.
not satellites. And then I think he gets his comeuppance in the episode three. He kind of loses more than he really plans on losing.